what was the attraction to produce this? Why produce Toy Story?
For me, it just seemed interesting. I mean, to me, the whole technology and the way it seemed to be where the future was going. It's something that I wanted to learn about as far as the technical part. Creatively, I liked the people that were involved in it at Disney and at Pixar. Ralph and John and I met early on and liked each other quite a bit, and really seemed like we all wanted to work together on something. And I really, excuse me, what really made me feel excited about the project was the excitement that Ralph and John felt about it. They were passionate about it, really believed in it, had worked on it for a long time, and that seemed it seemed exciting to me, and I felt like they needed me.
In a way, it's a very pioneering film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Technically, can you talk a little about the technological aspects of the film and how it's going to change?
Well, we've been making computer animation at Pixar for a number of years, and many of us have worked together even longer than that. Some of us go back 10, 15, 17 years working together, and all that time we always dreamed about one day making a full-length film this way. But we always found over the years that the technique in and of itself wasn't sophisticated enough yet that we could make an entire film. Either the tools weren't fast enough, the computers weren't fast enough, or it really wasn't accessible to artists. And the most important hurdle that we had to cross was getting our tools, our software, our equipment, and everything to the point where people could work quickly and where artists who really had no training on the computer could make use of it. And that was what made this film possible 17 years later.
Why did it take 4 years to get Toy Story together from beginning?
Well, we spent about 1.5 years on Toy Story just getting the script the way we wanted it. Although the film technically is amazing to watch, for us the most important thing is that the characters in the story are very, very challenging. They're very compelling and they're very interesting. The technique comes second. And so we spent 1.5 years just getting the script right, and then we really spent only about 2.5 years of the 4 actually making the film.
Why a toy-driven story? I think it's a wonderful idea, but why are the toys the leading characters in the movie?
I think that's a lot because of the director, John Lasseter. He is a real toy fan. And I think that's something that he, you know, as a kid, he probably, there's a little bit of Andy and John, and I'm sure there's a little bit of Sid in him too somewhere. But he really liked toys, and I think that was really the appeal to him, and the motivation behind that was he thought, you know, he knew that his toys were all alive when the door was closed, and I think that's something that he really wanted to share with the audience. And all of us have certain toys that we played with or know about, not just these toys, but I think that's something that appeals to everyone in the audience, the adults and as well as the children.
How hard is it to produce a film without actors? I mean, it's a virtual reality film, right?
Well, in a certain sense, you know, there are. I mean, we have actors actually on 2 levels. I mean, we had the voice talents, which we were dealing with. Yes, you don't deal with them really every day like you do in live action, but we saw, you know, for at least for Tom and Tim, for Buzz and Woody, they were in every scene of the film just about. So we saw them a number of times over the course of the picture. And really, in animation, our animators do the acting. I mean, the physical acting. And so we consider them artists, and we do deal with them every day. And they're, you know, they have just as much temperament and as any, you know, well-known box office actor. So in a certain sense, you are dealing with them. You're just, you know, it's just in a very different way.
How hard was it for you guys to put the whole team together?
Well, we had an interesting problem to solve, because when you're doing something for the first time that has never been done before, where do you find the people with the skills to do it? It's not something where you can run an ad in the newspaper and get people who have done this many times before. So Bonnie and I had the interesting challenge of starting with a crew that already existed at Pixar of about 25 people and expanding that to the 110 people that we used to make the film. And we had to find people from all over. We hired many animators we had 27 animators working on the film. Only 22 of them had never used a computer before when they came in to work with us. We had a number of people who are tremendously talented computer scientists. We probably have more PhD people working on this film than any film in history. And yet we also needed a bunch of artists who could come in and who could paint on the computer and who could design for the computer and who could do a variety of other things. And we found them from all over and brought them in and trained them to use this process.
And your biggest challenge?
I think in a certain sense that that was it. It was really finding the right people to be a part of this, and really making it about people that would be interested in the project, not just the crew, but the talent as well. People that really were part of this, would help plus the story in a certain way, as far as the Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Jim Varney, Don Rickles, even Randy Newman. I mean, none of these people had done a lot of, really had experience in animation, but we all knew that they would make the story better. That was really, the challenge of really putting together the right group of people.
Was it hard for you to get, let's say, Tom Hanks interested in playing the cowboy Woody?
Not really. We had a great meeting with Tom Hanks the first time we got together to talk about the film, and we showed him some of the design work and the art that we were considering for the film, and we'd also animated a little 20-second piece of Woody, but using Tom Hanks' voice. We actually took a line of dialogue out of Turner and Hooch, an old movie of his, and we animated Woody to that. And when he saw that, he was fascinated. He said, "Wow, I didn't think you could do that with my voice." He said, "That's really interesting. I wonder this could be a lot of fun to do a film this way." And because of that interest of his, we got started making the film.
And I wanted to, so where is this film going to take us in terms of technology? What's happening next? There going to be more projects like that? Or?
Well, we're going to be doing 2 more films with Disney at least, and we really feel... Oh, computer animation, yeah. What we do at Pixar best is computer animation, and we have found that now that we've done this first film, which to us was a labor of love that we consumed us for the last 4 years, we now sit down, we think about the next film, and we realize what we want is it to be 10 times better than this last one. And that means, the imagery is going to be richer, the characters are going to be better, the story is going to be very intricate, and we're looking forward to that challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. But in essence, we feel that we've just scratched the surface in terms of what you can do in this medium. And so we're looking forward to exploring a lot more avenues creatively that we have not even had a chance to touch in Toy Story.
So would you say that this is an equivalent to Snow White in 1937 in terms of...
Well, there are many parallels between Disney and Pixar. At the time in 1937, Walt Disney had made a number of short films and made his first feature. And at Pixar, it's the same story. We've made short films and TV commercials for a number of years, and now this is our first feature. We hope that 50 years from now, people will be comparing us still to Snow White.